Two, one. Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's been a while since I've done a podcast. I started a whole channel for a podcast another on another thing that I did back in high school, but I haven't done a podcast in a while, and I have two people here with me to do the podcast. So I have Trent and Nerdy here. So
How's it going, folks?
if you guys just want to introduce yourself to people who don't know.
All right. My name is Tren. I go by DennisMidwest. I have a channel here on YouTube as well. And I'm one of Ben's closest friends since grade school. So,
And hello, I'm John, otherwise known as Nerdy John. I do game reviews, podcasting, and music on occasion as well. I've known Benji and Tren for about a solid 2 months now, and they've been really supportive with um, YouTube channels in their community in general, and I really appreciate all the support that they give out to small creators. So I'm happy to be on.
So Nerdy, I just want to ask you, like, how did you discover my channel?
A friend of mine from school used to watch Minilad a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know who Minilad was, so I was like, okay, I'll just search up Minilad, and your video, other than like all of Minilad's videos,
Mm-hmm.
was the first thing to pop up. So like I took a
Wow.
chance. I was like, all right, I'll check this out. And at the time of me checking it out, you had around 600 subs.
Okay.
crazy. It's crazy how odds like that line up like perfectly.
And
Yeah.
I
And then
know.
it brings people together. It's
And
weird.
here we are now. You're literally on a podcast with me. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Jeez.
Okay, let's cut the BS, boys. Let's get straight to brass tacks, okay? Godzilla vs. Kong. Who you got?
Godzilla.
I'm going Kong, baby. Ape City all the way.
You know what? I'll be the moderator for this, and I want both of you to just come up with your best argument as to why you think your said person or monster will win.
Okay. Nerdy, you go. You go off. You go first.
All right. So, Godzilla, literal king of the monsters, last film took down 4 kaiju. Four kaiju. One of them was King Ghidorah, and other than Godzilla, he is the strongest creature in the monster universe. All right, and my boy got a new form called Burning Godzilla, and that's basically his Super Saiyan form. I'm sorry. Enough said.
Okay. But
Trent.
in this universe, King Kong is like the Broly to your Super Saiyan Godzilla here. King Kong. If you guys haven't seen the trailer, I'd go look it up. Unless we're gonna watch it here, you could stay and watch it. I suggest we'll probably watch it here. But in the trailer, you see Kong as this, this beast, and they get Kong to take down Godzilla or fight Godzilla, and he's just way more agile, and he's just a freak of nature. He's super strong, fucking super agile. I feel like he just runs circles around Godzilla, and Godzilla just firing lasers and shit and coming up out of the water like a goddamn dolphin.
Now, before we go into the counter argument, shall we just watch the trailer?
Yes, I say
go
we
ahead.
I say we watch the trailer.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Hey Jamie, pull up that lizard versus ape video.
Okay. Are we ready?
Ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, give me one sec. I gotta put everybody over here on the right side. And then this over here. Okay.
This is our only chance. We have to take it. We need Kong. The world needs him.
stop what's coming. And this child, she's the only one he'll communicate with.
I knew that they had a bond.
Oh, shit.
She had nowhere to go, so I made a promise to protect her. And I think that in some way, Kong did the same. It's Godzilla.
This cameraman that's on the damn carrier looking up, he is risking his life right now. Look at this.
He is.
He's like
clout,
sitting down
baby.
there, like trying
He
to
just-
capture everything.
He just took 13 tons of mega dump in his pants right there.
Look at this though. Look at this.
Oh, dude. Look at that.
Okay, so I'm also gonna make like a standalone like video with Trent about the memes and everything like surrounding this movie. But one of the jokes I'm gonna say in that video is like, girls' movies be like, oh my gosh, Jonathan cheated on Rebecca. Oh my gosh, boys' movies.
Monkey dog is a laser!
These are dangerous times. Godzilla's out there and he's hurting people and we don't know why.
There's something provoking him that we're not seeing here.
I'm of the same opinion.
The myths are real. There was a war. And they're the last ones standing.
I keep reaching for greatness because I'm built from it.
Who bows to who?
Nobody gon' stop for me. Here we go.
Kong bows to no one.
Here we go.
Okay.
Bruh. Oh my
That was
god.
epic. That was epic right there.
It's a good trailer.
Okay, now I would like to back up my statement on why I think Kong would absolutely destroy Godzilla.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to Godzilla right now. He is a complete badass and a completely different beast. But in terms of fighting and primal instinct, Kong just has the maneuverability and the sheer second nature fighting IQ that he needs to absolutely take down anything and everything that stands in his way. Like those I don't remember what they're called, skull walkers or whatever from Skull Island.
Mhm.
Like those literally were little walking Godzillas that couldn't fire lasers, and he literally ripped the tongue out of one of those. Like, come on, like, bro. I mean,
Okay.
Kong's just a different beast out here.
Okay. Nerdy, you wanna reply to that?
Yes. All right. God's people think that Godzilla isn't intelligent. However, he actually really is intelligent. He just isn't as emotional as not emotional, as expressive as Kong is. In fact, during the first film, Godzilla, he knew about the Muda. What are the monsters' names? Mudas.
Mothra.
No. Like the first two pairs.
Oh, I don't know the male and female monster.
Yeah. Anyway, he knew if he overcharged them with nuclear energy that he would come out on top. And so he just shoved down his atomic breath down their throat until it's separated from their bodies. the
Now-
man.
Now, were those monsters? Were they? I don't know. I hadn't seen the first film. That's probably where I'm wrong. But were they mechanical? Is that what they were?
No, they were entirely organic.
Okay. I just don't think Kong would allow, like, Kong's just a mover. Like, he's always on the move. And I know with like some in-ring IQ, even though I haven't really been in ring, but I've been in a couple fights. The more you move and the more you outmaneuver your opponent, the more on top you're gonna be. Because I mean, you're moving and ducking and dodging, but you're also giving attacks, and you're slipping in there and messing them up as you move. And Kong is he's just bred to swing, bro.
Are they trying to throw us off with the trailer, you think? Because Kong was absolutely just messing Godzilla up in that. And Godzilla didn't even scratch Kong. Now, in the movie, is it going to be a different story? I don't know. That opens possibilities for a new enemy or something, and maybe they might team up. You never know.
Right. I think how it's gonna go is with that first encounter. I think what's gonna happen is Godzilla's gonna come out on top in that first meetup, but a piece of his dorsal fin will come off, and that's what he uses to make that axe/hammer. Because if you notice
That's big brain.
the axe is actually one of his dorsal fins, because that's why it's able to absorb the atomic energy and hold it.
See, Kong. That makes crazy amount of sense. But it just again to show you Kong is he's just so intelligent. Like how would any beast know the weapon?
We see that he has it, but I think it's the humans who realized that Kong can use it. Like I think they built it for him.
That makes sense too. That does make sense because I don't know how Kong would. I don't know. I don't know what he would use. I mean, it's all instinctual for Kong. He's just a primal beast.
And might I add, this is a little bit of a prediction, but I think that aircraft carrier fight that we see in the trailer, I think that's going to be their first encounter with each other. That kind of sets it up a bit.
I think so as well.
Yeah. Oh, and so I actually have a bit of a theory. So, if you notice, yes, Kong has grown up quite a bit, so he's a lot taller. But if you look at Godzilla's size, it doesn't really add up with the previous two films. Like, he's big, but he's not quite there. So the theory is that that's a completely different Godzilla from the last film, and that the Godzilla from the end of 2019, that Godzilla died, and you know how people have been theorizing that Mecha Godzilla is going to show up. They're theorizing that the skeleton of the previous Godzilla is going to be used to make Mecha Godzilla.
And then the two are going to team up to take on the Mecha. I get that.
Ooh. Okay.
See, what I heard about that is that it's Mecha Godzilla destroying the cities, and they grabbed Kong to take on that one, but they got the wrong Zilla, and they went after the original Godzilla. And to add on to what you were saying, Nerdy, about Kong being a smaller size in Kong Skull Island than he is now, I'm sure everybody knows this, but they said that he was younger and still growing in the Skull Island movie. In that movie, he was 100, nearing 200 feet. In this movie, he is well over 300 feet tall, and which is the height of Godzilla. Godzilla is 300 to 400 feet tall, and they had the height.
Chunky too.
Yeah, he's big boy. He's a big boy.
He's got the muscles. I'll say that.
But he the director and writer had beefed up Godzilla, or not Godzilla, King Kong, so he could at least rival Zilla, because Kong has never been this big in any other film.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time they've sized him up this much.
Yeah, I mean he was enlarged for the 64 Godzilla versus King Kong film, but obviously these are much bigger incarnations, so this is the biggest we've ever seen the two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, my reading might be wrong, but I think what was it, like the 2008 King Kong or whatever it came out was the biggest rendition of Kong before Skull Island.
Yes.
Yeah.
To go back to the aircraft carrier fight, I'm a bit surprised as to how Kong we haven't seen that much, but Kong was kind of dominating that a little bit. But I'm surprised because it seems like he's more prone to be in the water. Like, all he needs to do is just knock Kong in the water, and Kong's just done for.
Yeah.
But when he jumps off into the water, I wonder where it's going to go from there.
Right. My guess is it's like Kong's gonna because like they're painting, like at least for the first half of the movie, that Godzilla's the villain. So obviously you can't have your hero beat the villain in the first act.
Right.
So what they're probably gonna do is like Kong's just gonna like he's almost got it, and then like Godzilla or maybe the humans even intervene, but something happens to where Godzilla is able to pull out like a second wind and basically like scar him and escape, and that's where he gets they get the dorsal fin.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense. Yeah, you see, along with the aircraft carrier, like Kong's sitting there and he roars at Zilla, and then Zilla like erupts out of the water and hits the carrier. I feel like in that scene, it's gonna knock Kong off of the carrier into the water, and then somehow King Kong gets onto land, and that's the scene where you see Godzilla rushing out of the water onto the land or whatever.
Oh yeah.
He's probably out cheating on me right now, him. So yeah, Kong just jumped off the aircraft carrier.
For real though, this is what I think about more than relationships.
He's probably talking to other girls. Yeah, Kong is he's freaking cool. He's so strong.
Okay.
Look at those back muscles.
I remember being a little kid and I had a Godzilla toy and then I had a King Kong toy, and I would make them fight each other. I've been waiting for this film.
Okay.
Nerdy John's gonna be.
Go ahead.
Nerdy's gonna be sitting in the theaters with his action figures reenacting the fights.
Oh, you know, be hilarious. You know, it'd be hilarious if somebody goes in with a gorilla mask on and somebody else goes in with a reptile mask on, and after the movie they're just fighting in the lobby or something.
That'd be hilarious.
Okay, but to segue off the movie, so Godzilla is kind of like he terrorizes Japan pretty much, and with Japan there's anime there. So Trent, what are some of your favorite animes, or Nerdy, whoever, what are your favorite anime?
Oh, I think I was the first to go off of Godzilla. So Godzilla vs Kong. So Nerdy, it's your turn.
Okay.
All right. So my favorite manga, not anime, my favorite manga is Tokyo Ghoul. And then in terms of anime, let's see, it probably would have to be. All right, I'm gonna be basic. I'm just gonna say DBZ because that's what got
me. Here we go.
My man. Yeah. I grew up on DBZ. I grew up on DBZ, so that has been with me for all of my childhood. I've got literally like action figures from when I was little of most of the DBZ characters, and I don't know. It's just something about that show that just really built me as for who I am. I think it was because of that show I did my martial arts class.
Well,
that's really cool.
One thing that I really like, if we're comparing American cartoons or comics as opposed to anime and manga, in in like comic books and shows here, it just seems like they're just kind of force fed like their powers, and they don't really train at all. Whereas in like anime, they're doing thousands of push-ups a day. They're doing hundreds of squats and sit-ups, and you just see the training, and I really like that, seeing that process, because it's much more fulfilling when they take down an enemy, because you have seen the training and hours that have gone into everything, the blood, sweat, and tears. Whereas if Superman just knocks someone out, it's just like, oh, it's just Superman, you know, he's going to do what he's going to do.
That's why I'll forever be in Goku's corner when it comes to that kind of fight, because
absolutely.
Superman, he hardly ever had to work for a fight, other than maybe he had to like wear a protective suit or wear an enhancement suit, but he's never like actually physically trained.
Yeah.
Whereas Goku, like that man, he's pushing 50, and he's a grandpa, and he's still like got a 12 pack going.
It's the Saiyan genetics that keep him the peak warrior that he's always been. And Nerdy, that is a great debate topic too, the Superman versus Goku.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm of course logically going to be in Superman's corner for who would win. But if I were to go for an underdog story, I think Goku would definitely win.
Yeah.
Because like we were talking about the hours and the training and stuff he's put into it. Like, I mean, yeah, as a kid, Goku, he trained, but training with Krillin really didn't even stand a chance. And Goku, he had surpassed a lot of people like very quickly as a child. Like he beat Tien, and Tien was already like a martial arts champion.
Yeah, all his illusion techniques.
Yeah, as a 14-year-old, he was 14 and beat Tien. Like, it's just insane.
Well, within the comic books and stuff, one of the reasons why Batman is my favorite is because like you can see some of his training, and also he actually like prepares for his battles. Like he doesn't just he's not Superman where he just goes in and he just fights. Like he actually like puts time into studying who he's about to fight and their weaknesses.
Exactly. And I mean, I've heard people say like Superman. I really don't see Superman as like the ideal hero. Well, I do see him as the ideal hero. Let me take that back. But he's more of a symbol than your typical like train and like go fight and beat him up bad guy. He's more of the symbol of your Boy Scout do-gooder hero who's always there and always there to protect you and will save you no matter what. Like it's just who he is. It's Superman. Like
he's the poster boy for superheroes.
He is literally, yes, he is the poster boy. So I mean, if the poster boy was to be like, you know, defeated multiple times and then have to train super hard and you know have that, you know, inclination of him getting beat again, I don't think he'd be as big of a poster boy as he is now, as to where he's like, you know, this alien from a different planet who came here to save the human race. Like that is basically his calling, is to save the human race.
Yeah.
But Batman is definitely one of my favorites as well, because as you were saying, Ben, like he's like so mentally sharp and like, you know, does everything by like not by the book, but does everything by his own accord, and like just he's the man of men is how I'd like to.
I am so excited for the Batman. Oh my goodness.
I'm hoping it's
good.
Definitely. I'm hoping.
Yeah,
it better
especially
be,
since Ben Affleck's out of the role.
Yeah.
I think,
and they delayed it.
I think Robert Pattinson's gonna kill it, dude.
Facts, easily.
I think he's gonna absolutely demolish this role.
He's a fantastic actor, like with because he first started off with Twilight, right? And I'm not really a big fan of Twilight. Like it's kind of just like for preteen girls. So he started. Well, he really first started off with Harry Potter, but anyways, he got popular with Twilight, and he just blew up. Like everybody recognized him. So he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna step back. I'm just gonna do some indie films because I just want to get back into the into what I'm known for. I just want to not be known as the vampire guy. I want to be known as like an actual good actor. So he went back into that, and now he's been doing a lot of indie films like Good Time and The Lighthouse and others. And so now he's getting back into blockbuster movies. So should be pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, and to go back to this to like this sort of relates. It's a superhero and it's anime. My Hero Academia, like in terms of like stuff that's currently being renewed, that's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a big fan of the My Hero franchise.
So Nerdy, I see that you have some Star Wars decoration in the back, and I wanted to bring up. Are you boys excited for that? The Kenobi series. That's announced.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So happy.
Well, they announced that and like several other different things. Like, there's a lot of Star Wars content on the way, and I'm pretty excited. About that.
I am so excited. And like Kenobi, Ben, you know this. We played Battlefront 2 all the time, and in the spring of our senior year, and like we just played Battlefront. And I mained Kenobi all the time. He's my favorite in the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah.
And to see him post Republic into the Empire Age, it's like to see him progress on Tatooine as a master, and like be able to talk to Qui-Gon again. It's just gonna be absolutely insane.
So
and they're bringing.
Go ahead.
And they're bringing back Hayden Christensen. Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah.
For the role of Darth Vader, which is insane.
Are they bringing back the actor who played Obi-Wan in the prequels?
Yeah, they did. They are. They're bringing Ewan back.
Sweet.
So I think this is after episode 3 and before episode 4. It's just kind of in that chunk of time before he grows extremely old and we see him on Tatooine chilling.
Yep.
So there's actually a comic book based off of Obi-Wan's like adventures, and interestingly enough, he fights a Tusken Raider Jedi.
What the heck?
I think I've actually heard of that.
Yeah, basically, this Tusken Raider Jedi, he escaped the Order and he went back to his tribe.
That's right. Okay, yeah.
And he went insane. And so when he found out that Darth Vader had a son on Tatooine, he was like, "I'ma kill it." And so
I'ma kill it.
Yeah. So Obi-Wan was forced to slay him in order to protect Luke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boys, I'm sorry. But with episode 9, I really didn't understand bringing back Palpatine. That just didn't make sense to me. That literally that just takes episode 6 and crumples it into a ball and just throws it in the trash. What?
Exactly, because the whole point of that movie, and even the prequels added to that last scene in episode 6, the whole series up to that point was Anakin's journey of redemption thanks to his family, and to prove that he was indeed the chosen one. But nope. It was just about Palpatine survived and he cloned himself.
Yeah, that just...
Boys, this is what happens when you give a series that belongs to George Lucas to fucking Disney, okay? They shit on the series.
I would take the prequels over the sequels any day. Like, I don't care if people call them corny. I would want it from the original creator's mind.
Like, it's actually super beautiful. Like the prequels, once you sit down and watch it and rewatch it and rewatch it. I've watched the prequels since I was little, and it's the storytelling is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
To play devil's advocate, visually speaking, even for at the time, a lot of the prequels is just just some dudes standing around in a green screen, and I know it wasn't the actor's fault. It was more of Lucas's direction, but even Samuel L. Jackson was stale in the movies. But like when during episode 3, during the quiet scenes where we just see Anakin's intensity, his struggle with emotion, those are actually really good scenes.
The CGI was a bit wonky.
Yeah, the CGI is definitely not the best part of the movie,
but
especially in episode 2.
But I'd rather have some stale moments from the original creator than a corporation taking over, just wanting money and just selling merchandise and trying to push an agenda. And I'd rather have the latter. You know what I mean? I'd rather have George.
And let me explain to you, like, the Kylo Ren, why he doesn't work. So, you know how in Empire Strikes Back, despite all of his efforts, Luke couldn't touch Vader. Like, he just got his butt handed to him.
Mm-hmm.
The first movie we see of Kylo Ren and Rey fighting, Kylo completely loses. It's only by luck that he survives that fight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not how you set up your villain, because your villain is supposed to be an obstacle for the hero to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
But if the obstacle is so easy for our hero to overcome, then what's the point of us watching?
Exactly.
Right.
And like Kylo, even before he fought Rey, like Kylo fought Finn, and Finn, to our knowledge, until like episode 9, we didn't believe him to have Force capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
But in episode 9, we saw it a little bit. But even then, like it's a small percentage.
Yeah.
And he cut Kylo. Kylo got cut
exactly
by somebody who has never trained with a lightsaber.
And like you think that with the training that he got from not only Luke but the clone of Palpatine, that Kylo would be able to hold himself in a fight.
Exactly.
To explain why Rey is so good, all of a sudden they said, well, in the series it's that she has Palpatine's blood. That's the explanation as to why she's,
which is dumb, because in The Last Jedi, the whole point of that movie was to show that she wasn't connected to anyone special, that the Force just flowed within her, and then they rewrote it the next movie.
Yeah, don't get me started on The Last Jedi with Luke Skywalker throwing the lightsaber. What,
bruh?
Bullshit is that?
Well, to take it back before we get on to the entire lightsaber throwing fiasco bullshit, even Anakin had to fucking train, and apparently he was created by Palpatine.
Right.
Like Anakin had to train to become a Jedi and even get on the council. Like he was never a Jedi Master, but he was on the council.
Yeah.
And he had to train his ass off.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to make a lot of people mad by saying this. Yeah, like Anakin is literally made out to be space Jesus, but he's not a Mary Sue like Rey is. You know why?
No.
Because nothing ever went Anakin's way.
Exactly.
At all.
I have a point to add on to this after you're done speaking, though.
Like Rey, she apparently, even though she never ever flew a spaceship before, she's a master pilot, just like that. At least with Anakin, we got an explanation that he was into pod racing.
Right.
Her, it was just like, if she could leave the entire time, why didn't she just steal one and just leave the planet, besides the fact that she was waiting for her parents?
Yeah.
Exactly. And like you had said that Anakin had never like gotten it easy, and to add on to that, like the entire 1 through 6, Anakin was a slave for his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
He was a slave to
Watto.
Watto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was a slave to Watto. He left there. He was a slave to the Jedi to the Jedi Order, because he was never a master, and he was always an underclassman to the master Jedis. And then he left the Jedi Order, and was a disciple to Palpatine, and he was basically a slave to Palpatine because he did whatever Palpatine told him to do. He was never truly free as a person, and he died a slave.
Yeah.
Like, he had never had it easy.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Can we talk about the Admiral in The Last Jedi? The purple-haired lady? First off, she comes in wearing like an ambassador's dress.
Yeah.
And then when Poe asks her a basic question on what her plan is, she tells him to shut up. That's people pointed this out. You don't tell your you don't just tell your soldiers to shut up and follow orders. Even the Empire understood that. You have to let them instill at least a basic level of trust in you. Mm-hmm. And she basically gave Poe every reason not to trust her.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion: the last 3 movies were the worst in the three session trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm not saying that because I don't like powerful women roles. It was just a shit. It was just a shit trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Right. I got these hipsters saying that, well, if 2/3 of your movie series aren't good, maybe the series wasn't good at all.
That's a lie. You can't beat episode 4 through 6. I'm sorry. And I'm all for powerful women roles, but just don't force them.
Right.
Like the Avengers Endgame forced the women team up at the end. I think the who did it right is when Disney dropped the Mandalorian series, and at the end they had the 3 women in the series team up and take on I think it was the Dark Troopers.
Yes, along with
Is this a spoiler?
Yeah.
Of season 1 or 2?
Have you seen season 2 yet, Ben?
I have not finished season 2.
Okay. Don't worry about it then. Good thing I didn't say the names of the ladies.
Yeah. But dude, literally only good thing coming out of Star Wars right now, as of now, is the Mandalorian series.
They just do it right.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's people.
I don't understand. Yeah, exactly. This is critically acclaimed to be the best and the closest Star Wars adaptation we get. It's the closest we've gotten to as good as the original trilogy.
Yeah, and the funny, what I hated about the original, well, not the original, the new trilogy is that they didn't want to be the prequel so bad that they destroyed any possibility of potential storylines. Imagine seeing Princess Leia trying to help run the New Republic. That would have been so interesting.
Yeah.
But nope. First movie, we gotta destroy it.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if they just followed that timeline at the end of episode 6 instead of jumping in the future 30, 40 or whatever how many years it was.
It would have been so much more interesting.
Yeah.
Because it would have had all of our original characters, which we love. We formed a connection with those original characters over 6 movies. But they had to throw it out so they could have a lead female role.
Yeah.
Well, it's
when you could have had that with Leia. I'm sorry,
they could have. Oh no, you're good, man. You're good. I think they could have still had Rey, but obviously she needed to be better written, first off. And I don't know, maybe they could have done like a scene where she's exploring Coruscant, the New Republic. You know, maybe like that will add like some hope to her life. You know,
I think there was
and
a leak. Sorry, are you going?
oh yeah, and like Finn, he got like the shortest end of the stick that you could possibly get. You get such an interesting character, a character who from birth was raised to be a stormtrooper, and he breaks away from that. And Captain Phasma is built up to be his version of Darth Vader, but they do nothing with it.
Yeah.
I believe there was like a leaked like general plot by George Lucas of what he was mapping out for episode 7. I think he was trying to have Darth Talon be the new villain, I'm pretty sure, and Leia was supposed to take over. But that's pretty interesting as to where he wanted to go with it as opposed to Disney.
Yeah, you see, I would have taken Leia as the lead role, and like her training with Luke over what we got, because they showed Luke and Leia training, but we only got a snippet of it, and that was like the coolest part of the movie. Like, I would much rather watch Leia train with Luke, and then Leia take on a baddie for 3 movies, than like, come on now, then some little girl who had never trained in her life other than using a bow staff take on the strongest person in the entire galaxy.
Well, of course, the problem is part of it is George's fault because he never was able to get episode 7 off the ground, and you know, Disney had to buy him out in order to get a decent story going. And by decent, I mean they got a script done.
I didn't think George wanted to continue. I thought his thing was like he was going to cut it off at 6. It was going to be done. After the prequel trilogy, he was going to be done, and that's why he sold it to Disney.
Yeah. Well,
like,
the thing is,
but now that Ben's saying,
go ahead.
I know with Ben saying that he had a script out or like a plot for number 7, it's like I really wish he would have continued.
Yeah, but his whole thing was like, oh, I'm getting old. I have children now. I don't have enough time to whatever. That was his shtick.
Right.
But to follow up on that, like, a lot of corporations and businesses just like to milk franchises so dry to the bone. Like, I was watching a video on The Simpsons, and their 6th season was the best season, and they compared an episode, like 2 episodes from the 6th season and 2 episodes from like the newest season, and where they have gone wrong, and they just introduced too many characters. The jokes are stale. They're trying to pander. They're trying to keep the audience's attention too much instead of just letting it play out. There's just so many things that they do wrong nowadays, and they just kill off franchises. That's why I'm glad with Futurama, they only did a couple seasons and then they were done. I'd rather have really good seasons and then have it be done than have people just milk it to the bone and keep it going.
Exactly, dude.
They've been doing that with Star Trek a lot. Like Star Trek Discovery, which is like the newest show, that's basically the new trilogy for Star Trek fans. And they've been doing nothing but forcing strong female characters. They've been wrecking the entire like known plot so that way they can fit their own little story. And it's just a shame to see such an intelligent series be boggled down, and they're actually trying to copy Star Wars for some reason. It's like, no, you don't copy Star Wars. Star Wars is its own thing. You were known for intelligent, ethical science fiction debates, and now you're just doing laser battles.
Yeah. To to expand upon the idea of just forcing female roles, the Batwoman. I feel like with that show, pretty much their entire goal with it was just to try to get the show, to get the rights to it, and that was their accomplishment right there. They don't care about the writing, they don't care about the character progression, they don't care about any of that. They just care that they actually got a female role in a show that is on the air.
But this is what ticks me off about that show. All right. There is an actual Batwoman who is a lesbian who has that exact costume design, but it's not Barbara Gordon. It is another character entirely. But instead of wanting to represent that character, they just wanted a quick buck and they wanted easy representation. So instead of trying to develop a character that we've never got to see on screen before, they just went with Barbara Gordon because they knew everyone already knew Barbara.
Right.
They made the new Batwoman Barbara Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I haven't seen the series. I just haven't had the goal to. I didn't really want to.
To expand upon the idea of having a minority as the main character, one movie that did a spectacular job and absolutely they just nailed it was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse with Miles Morales. They did a fantastic job of representing the black community. I believe Miles Morales is like half black, half Hispanic, but they did a fantastic job of representing that.
Yeah, that was like, and for an animated movie, dude.
Yeah.
The animation of that movie was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like it was just.
It just had the person of that minority there. They didn't force it. It was just there.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was a good mix of funny, seriousness, and the character progression and like storytelling was on point. That was a great movie, especially for a kids movie. Like I don't give a flying hoot. Like I will go see that movie whenever.
Yeah, we actually saw that movie in theaters, Trent. That was a good time.
Yeah, we did. It was a great time. I loved it.
I'm jealous of you too. And you know what? I'm gonna say it. Sunflower, a bop.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Sunflower's a great
in that
song.
movie is fantastic. It's great.
They had some. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, they had some Biggie in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. I remember you looked over at me, Ben, in the theater. Like you started bopping your head. We were just head banging in the theater.
Yeah, that was fun. And to go on with the whole Spider-Verse thing, there's rumors that Tobey Maguire is going to be back on the big screen, and if that's true, that's going to be awesome. Hopefully they don't mess it up. I pray to God that they don't mess it up. But seeing him on the big screen again as Peter Parker, Spider-Man, I might tear up in the theater. I'm a complain.
Awesome.
Oh, dude, that is
yeah.
childhood. That is childhood right there.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland all on the same screen.
I'm gonna say it. I think he's chill as a person, but I didn't like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. He was too much of a jock.
The writing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right, boys.
Oh, here he goes. Here he goes.
I gotta rub.
Here he goes.
Man.
Here he goes.
So Peter Parker. Okay, we are talking Peter Parker. Okay, in the comics, he is a nerd. But why is it that in the Amazing Spider-Man, Buddy looks like a model. He looks like a GQ model, and he's creepily taking photos of Gwen Stacy at a distance. That is just freaking weird, and she somehow falls in love with him.
Yeah.
What?
And Flash, the jock. It's not even the majority of his scenes aren't even making fun of Peter. Peter's like defending other nerds against him because the actor who plays Flash is shorter than Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. Well, same with Tom Holland too. Peter Parker is supposed to be a nerd. He's not supposed to be like an attractive dude. Tom Holland, like, he's a good-looking guy. Like, and then if you compare that to Tobey Maguire, Tobey Maguire actually looks like a Peter Parker with the glasses and everything.
Exactly. Like casting for that was on point.
The bad Peter Parker where he's all in black dancing down the street was the perfect nerd representation. Like only goofballs do that walking down the street and have no remorse.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just don't care because everybody sees them the same anyway. Like
Well,
it was a silly scene, but
Spider-Man 2 is my favorite Spider-Man movie. Well,
no
it's
doubt.
Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Verse, but I'd put Spider-Man 2 just slightly above it because just the dichotomy of a superhero losing their powers and just trying to balance that personal life as much as the superhero life is just really interesting to me.
Yeah. So did you guys do you guys remember the "You Say Run Goes with Everything" meme from My Hero Academia? Remember?
I don't recall. No.
All right. Well, "You Say Run" is this orchestral score they use for fight scenes in My Hero. It's basically like a last stand sort of thing. Like the hero's up against a wall, but like he uses all of his strength for one more punch or one more Kamehameha,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so I actually recommend that you guys watch Spider-Man 2, You Say Run, because that music fits the scene perfectly. It's an amazing add-on to the scene, and I cried the first time I saw that scene when I was watching it, and it made me cry again when I saw the remix.
It's funny that you say that, Nerdy, because we've got the footage right here.
Oh boy.
We actually do have the footage right here.
Oh no, you got me in 4K.
You have a train to catch.
We're slowing down.
Yes, sir.
exactly.
One thing that I will point out, and one thing that I love about Sam Raimi's filmmaking, is that later in that scene we experience the different personalities of the people on the train. Like, these aren't just extras. Like, these are the people of New York. Like, there's actual like color to these people. Like, we get to know them, and they support Spider-Man. Just the shot of them like reaching out and just helping him before he falls off is crazy.
Yeah.
It holds more emotional weight as opposed to like the Tom Holland scene where he's like on the boat and he's like shooting the different sides and he has to like attach the boat, or an Iron Man comes in. It's two
Right.
different ball games, honestly.
That scene screamed, "Let's top Spider-Man 2."
Yeah.
Yeah. Like and then during I think it was that scene. It's like they're carrying him onto the train and they go, "Be careful, he's a hero."
Mm-hmm.
Because he just saved that train full of people.
Mm-hmm.
And like and exhausted himself to the point of like he passed out.
And
And-
it showed he was straining his muscle too.
Exactly. And when Tom Holland was pulling the boat, I don't think he exhausted himself to the point of passing out.
He didn't give it his all.
No. And in that scene, you see Peter Parker without the mask.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing. Everybody on that train saw who Spider-Man was.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept his secret.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a hero.
And that's one thing. Peter didn't care about the mask. That wasn't what was important. What was important was saving those lives.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And one thing that I will point out, well, the thing is with remakes is and telling origin stories is it gets a bit repetitive at times. But one thing that this is so essential to Peter Parker's story, you at least have to mention Uncle Ben. Like, they don't mention that in Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Like, pretty much just Tony Stark replaces Uncle Ben, and that just it doesn't make sense.
But they did make sure to make Aunt May a MILF though.
Hey, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, me
Neither
neither.
am I.
Me neither, bro.
But still, you got to mention Uncle Ben. But like, I noticed on Peter Parker's suitcase, it had the initials of Uncle Ben, but they don't really ever talk about him. He's essential to Peter Parker. They got to talk about him.
Yeah, we are almost 3 movies in, and we don't hear a lick about Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
I will say Tom Holland plays a good Spider-Man, not necessarily Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely plays a
and
Spider-Man
Andrew
role.
Garfield plays a pretty decent Spider-Man. Like, I like him. Like, his quips and quirkiness is actually pretty fitting to that Spider-Man. But his Peter Parker is
His Peter Parker is the worst.
it's not that good.
Now, granted, I haven't seen a lot of Andrew Garfield's work besides those movies. I'm sure he's a phenomenal actor. I'm sure he's a good guy.
He is.
But he was terribly miscast.
Yeah, the writing is the writing just wasn't that good. It didn't hold as much emotional weight as the previous movies. But, but yeah, we've been going for about an hour now. Is there anything else you boys want to talk about, or do you just want to wrap it up?
Let's see. So, in terms of video game stuff, I heard rumors that Sony is actually trying to buy Metal Gear Solid. They're trying to buy Silent Hill, and they're trying to buy Castlevania from Konami because Konami hasn't been doing anything with those series.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I also.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry. I also heard rumor of a new Indiana Jones game.
What?
Yeah.
You know what I also heard? Open world
What?
Star Wars game.
Ooh. I'm excited for that.
Baby!
But I don't know. Nerdy, have you heard anything about the Indiana Jones game?
I have not. This is my first time hearing about
I
it.
think it's Ubisoft who is creating this game.
Makes sense.
Or is it
Open world
Ubisoft that's doing? Is Ubisoft doing the
Says
Star Wars game?
Bethesda. There's a teaser.
Bethesda's doing the Indiana Jones game.
So is it kind of going to be like Uncharted?
I assume so. I feel like it's gonna be. It's definitely gonna have the third person, like, camera view, realistic camera view type thing. Third person.
Should be pretty fun.
I hope it has the Harrison Ford character model though. I don't want some off-brand, Indiana Jones.
That's one thing that
Yeah.
made me mad about the Spider-Man games is that they don't use the character model for the actors. Who am I playing as? Who is
Exactly. It's like, this isn't Peter Parker. This is
Schmieder
I don't know.
Schmarker.
Schmieder Schmarker.
That was stupid.
Speaking of Spider-Man and Marvel in general, I know it's been quite a long time now since he's passed, but Stan Lee, greatest creative mind of our generation that we got to see, even weeks before his death, he was still working on new shows and new material.
That's
I remember we were in class, Ben,
Mm-hmm.
when I had heard about him passing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a picture on my phone of my reaction, actually.
I hate it when you're scrolling through social media and then you see that article pop up of a celebrity passing. Because at first,
Yeah,
sometimes
exactly.
you think it's like Photoshop because there's like memes out there that people do and stuff. But when you find out that it's real, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
At first, I didn't believe it either because if you remember a couple years ago, there was a false story about him dying.
Yeah.
But when I found out it was real, I admit I cried for like a solid week because he changed my outlook. He with the heroes he created, he helped set. I know this is gonna sound dumb, but like he set some like ideals in me. He showed me like how to do like really good storytelling, and it was like,
Just a huge inspiration
heartbreaking.
overall.
Yeah, definitely. Stan Lee was definitely one of the greats when it came to inspiration. And he made his characters seem more human and relatable. Like, that's why he created Spider-Man, is because he wanted to relate to teenagers in high school.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He created Iron Man so that way that because he was created during the hippie movement, and hippies were very anti-capitalist. Well, here he goes creating this capitalist character, the character that they're supposed to hate, but he gets this horrible injury done to him. And actually, in the original Iron Man comics, the suit was permanent. Tony wasn't going to be able to survive without the suit.
What?
Yeah.
What?
That's Ben's reaction right there is how far away the movies go from the.
Well, obviously that changed over time to.
Yeah.
I think it was like chapter 10 where he was like, "Oh, I compressed my life support system into this handy chess piece,"
Yeah, it would be harder. It would be hard to keep a series going when there's no sort of personal connection there, I guess.
Right. Well, I mean, they could have pulled like a Darth Vader type thing.
Oh, true.
And have him remove his helmet or whatever, but
Yeah.
And then he created the X-Men because he realized this whole racism and superiority thing's kind of stupid. Like he did a documentary and he goes, look, if we were all the same race, we would judge each other based off hair color.
Yeah.
If we all had the same hair color, we would judge each other based off eye color.
yeah, it's like the human race always finds something to nitpick on about each other.
Yeah. True.
And he's just, I don't know, he's like, I want to say like philosophical, damn near. Like just his ideals and like his mental, like his mindset on the world around him was just completely different from everybody else.
Yeah, and I
I
mean,
think
go ahead.
I think the tribute shouldn't have been in Captain Marvel. It should have been in an Endgame.
Oh, definitely. But one thing that's interesting, his characters have different powers, but they also have different like personal problems as well. Like each character has something different about them that they have to experience. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, Peter Parker with Uncle Ben, Tony with his drinking problem. Who else? I don't know.
The X-Men dealing with systemic racism.
Yeah, I don't know. Did he create Daredevil?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daredevil with his blindness and him having to overcome his disability.
Thor with trying to understand humanity.
Yeah.
The Hulk speaks for itself. The Hulk is, I'm gonna say it next. He is my favorite Marvel superhero. Second is Spider-Man. It's just an
Bruce
incredible
Banner
series.
with anger issues.
Yeah.
And you can even
that could go for a lot of people.
You can even look into it as multiple personality disorder, because eventually Hulk and Bruce become entirely separate people, but they have to share the same body.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And then you see Bruce become one with Hulk. Like he's overcome that disorder.
Right.
And Nerdy, you had said that Hulk was one of your top Marvel characters next to Spider-Man. I have to go with the Asgardian on this one. He's definitely my favorite Marvel superhero.
He's good. Won't lie, he's good.
Okay. I love Marvel, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm more of a when it comes to movies. Not all their movies, but I like DC more. Not because they have like the best movies ever, but here's the thing with Marvel. They have a formula. They have a good formula, and they've stuck with that for pretty much all of their movies up to this point. The thing with DC is that they like with each different movie, they follow different formulas, and some of them are huge misses, like Suicide Squad, and some of them just knock them out of the park, like the Dark Knight trilogy. So it's either a hit or miss going into the theater. Whereas with Marvel, you pretty much know that you're going to get a decent movie at best.
What was funny was for a while it was DC who had all the good movies, and it was Marvel playing catch up, because if you look at like the 80s and 90s, all of Marvel's films were like at best TV specials, or they got released to VHS tape. But then
Wonder Woman.
Oh god. But then as soon as the whole cinematic universe craze started, DC rushed way too much into it. And I know to some people Man of Steel is a decent movie, but like it's a train wreck in some places. The sequel proves that even further by hinting at so many stuff when you've only developed into one film. Like, yes, they hinted at the Avengers at the end of Iron Man 1, but they didn't go straight into the Avengers. You know?
Yeah.
I was going to make a video on this like 3-4 months ago, but I never got around to doing it. I think DC is actually gonna come back in terms of
I agree.
Winning back
I hope
the
so.
fans. Because Marvel has pretty much told all the main stories that they need to tell, so they're kind of just branching off into like the, I don't know, what do you call it, like the, I want to say the side stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy and whatnot. But with DC, they still have things that they need to accomplish, and they still have things that they need to show the audience. Like hopefully with the Batman, they focus on Bruce Wayne's character within that story instead of just Batman itself and the whole world's greatest detective thing.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, like Riddler is such a good villain, not in the aspect that he can fight well, but the fact that he challenges Bruce to such an intellectual level.
That is why I feel that this Batman movie is going to be one of the greatest that have ever hit the silver screen. For one, my top tier list of Batman villains is Joker, and then it's Riddler. Riddler, I love so much because he's just so mentally capable that even Batman struggles to figure out some of his riddles. And to do that to the world's greatest detective is absolutely like, you know how big brain you have to be to stump Batman.
And mind you, Batman is the same person who helped solve Darkseid, like space stuff, like he's there alongside the team when they need to figure out like what is this space man saying.
I think it was Wonder Woman who hit him with a lasso of truth, and he still didn't tell the truth. Like he still lied or something like that.
Exactly.
He didn't say his name or something.
Batman. It's Batman, and to outsmart a man who has the willpower of a god, like
that,
it's just insane.
That, and he could tell when Martian Manhunter was in the room when he was invisible too. Like he could just sense him being there as well. Like his mental capability is insane.
And he's freaking human.
he could slow down his heartbeat to the point where he could still function, but Superman couldn't hear him.
Bro, Batman is literally, oh my god, he is like unfathomable.
Yeah.
Like just as a human, like doing all this stuff as a human.
Yes. Now this does get into one problem though. The bat worship that's in DC, like DC Comics, like all they do is like hold Batman up to this pedestal. And now it's really cool when you see Batman do the impossible, but when it's constantly presented, it makes it less special, and the audience ends up disliking Batman a lot more than what they would have.
Yeah.
I had an idea, now I lost it.
But it's Batman. It's Batman.
It's freaking Batman. Like he rivals, like we were talking about earlier, rivals. Like Batman literally in the Batcave has a designed weapon to, if the Justice League were to go rogue, he has a weapon to take down every member of the Justice League at his will.
Yeah, like with the Green Lantern, it's mind control, Superman, kryptonite. He just has different things for each person to take them down.
It's it's insane.
Yeah.
A human, like his mental capacity is that of every major mind on Earth plus some. Like he could probably play a game of chess with the Overseers and win.
To get back on the Riddler thing, I forgot to mention this when it was a hot topic, but you guys know how they rebranded a couple years ago into the New 52 as a new universe in the comics?
Yeah.
Well, before that universe took place, there was a brief moment in the comics where Batman had to leave Gotham, and guess who he entrusted in protecting Gotham? The reformed Riddler.
Dude.
Wait, really?
It was was actually a really good comic series, and then it never got resolved because they basically told the writers, "Screw you," and they rebooted the universe.
The Riddler is just such a good character, especially as a villain. Like I love like puzzles and just minds and like, things just strengthen the mind, and it's just so cool that somebody can just have so much brain power to do all these things and not get caught, and then build the trust of one of the world's greatest heroes, and outsmart him to the point where he like you said, at one point has to leave the city and entrust the city to a villain.
Yeah.
Like, that's how much respect he has for Riddler.
Trent, I've mentioned this to you before, but one thing I love about the Batman universe is that it could literally, off of this one superhero, off Batman, you could make it is its own universe, like with all of the enemies and
Pretty
sidekicks and everything going on within in there. It is its own universe. It could be its own universe.
Literally. Exactly.
You can do a noir style detective story where he solves the mystery piece by piece. And then the next issue, you can do him fighting like 3 gangs at once while he has to like defuse a bomb or something,
Yeah.
And he does it because he's freaking Batman.
Exactly.
And that's one thing I love about the games as well. Well, the game reviewers always say this when they review Batman games. You feel like Batman. You feel like Batman. But it's pretty true. Like when you're playing games, when you're playing Arkham, you swing over to a gargoyle and you see somebody below you. You can see their heart rate monitor. You go down. You do the stealth takedown. Like, it's badass. It's so much fun.
And like, I don't know. I'm just like at a loss of words of how great a character and like universe and like story Batman is. Like,
Right.
Just Batman as a whole character and Batman as like a series. It can withstand the test of time.
So you guys know the Batman Beyond TV show, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
What I love about that series is the first episode. It takes place after the animated universe because it takes place in the Batman animated universe timeline. You can see an older Bruce Wayne in his, I would say, 60s. Bruce Wayne, he never wants to kill. He forbade himself from using a gun. The first scene, like the fight scene that we see him in, he has a heart attack and he's forced to pick up one of the Crook's guns, and he doesn't use it, but he has to like point it at the last standing dude to get him to back down. And that's what gets him to quit being Batman in that timeline.
Right.
Because he made a promise to himself that he would never do that. And as soon as he did that, he realized that he couldn't be Batman anymore.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have the Ben Affleck Batman.
I was just about to
shooting
mention
off
that.
rounds like it's no tomorrow.
That just doesn't make sense within Batman's character to do something like that.
Right. And then, like, the problem is we don't see the development. Like, I could believe Batman could get to that point, but the problem is that's our first time seeing him in this universe, and we don't see what caused him to be like that.
Yeah, and like, I don't care how broken Batman is. It's like, no matter how broken he is, he has the willpower to, not pick up a weapon because it's against his moral code. Like, you see the Joker literally break Batman to the point where he laughs with the Joker. And like, even then, like, that was a super broken Batman. But I guarantee you he would never ever pick up a weapon.
Yeah.
Like a gun.
Oh god,
Like,
speaking of the Joker, how they handled him in Suicide Squad. Guys, it says pain on his forehead. That means he's deep.
Oh man.
that pain is literally what I felt watching that.
But
I wanted
Joaquin
to
Phoenix.
Oh, he revived it.
Yeah,
He revived it.
He revived it.
Literally my favorite depiction of Joker. Next to Ledger.
Yeah.
Yo, what if Joaquin Phoenix makes a cameo and he's like just really old, like crippled looking Joker?
That Ben, I had actually talked to you about Joaquin making a cameo appearance in the new Batman film as like a theory. Like, what if they were to combine the two shows or the two movies
It would
into
be,
into a series?
it would be so hard getting Joaquin on board though, because he is very picky about his
I know.
roles.
I know, and like he'd also said he didn't want to play the Joker again.
Yeah, but
Right.
so if they do a sequel to the Joker movie, where are they gonna go? So I was watching a video, and they were like, to explain it, they were like, Arthur Fleck is going to be in Arkham Asylum, and there's going to be like the Penguin and different characters within Arkham Asylum, like Harley Quinn and stuff, and he it's basically his experience with them and building relationships with them. So it's kind of going to be like Prison Break, but through Arthur Fleck's perspective. I think that would be pretty damaged.
That would be a really interesting movie. I agree.
Yeah.
That would be. And then maybe just for the sake of a setup, you could have a character who is supposed to be Jared Leto's Joker and basically like have that as like the setup for like he's the like this basically like a patching of the torch to
right.
Joker. But like
Jared
since
Leto was actually mad at Joaquin, or he was mad at the people who cast Joaquin Phoenix, and I was just like, dude, just stop, dude. You were ass in the role. Like,
yeah,
sure,
he killed that
you
role.
had bad writers, but like, you just don't fit with that role, man. Like, you're a good actor,
right?
But no.
Also, your music's terrible, by the way, Jared Leto.
I just don't think that a Joker with tattoos does the Joker justice.
He looks like
just
a
the way
member of a Joker gang, not the
yeah, he does. He looks like a member of his followers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't understand what they were going at for a gangster like tattooed Joker.
Right.
They wanted someone. I get they wanted a young Joker, but again, that contracts with the very old Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So like, unless they already had like the whole Joker is more of an ideology thing planned out, it wouldn't have made sense because they wanted like a young Harley Quinn for obvious reasons. So they had to have a young Joker, but they wanted an old Batman. So, but it doesn't make sense if you have an old Batman and a young Joker.
Yeah, like a boomer Batman with a zoomer Joker, like that combo is just weird.
Joker in the movie, Batman, you boomer! What did you say to me?
Joker just on one of those hoverboards, just flossing. Hey, Bats, want to be my TikTok?
And it's Jared Leto's Joker, just to like make the point home more.
I just think Jared Leto should have. I don't like his Joker. Like, oh God, what is his name? Oh, who was the original? Who was one of the originals?
The guy who was in The Shining. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. God, I don't remember his name, but him, I liked his Joker. He was the goofy and like less serious kind of Joker, but he still had the serious aspect to him.
Mm-hmm. And then you had Heath Ledger's Joker, which
Jack Nicholson.
Oh my God. Yep, Jack Nicholson.
Joaquin Phoenix is like right up there. We have
three
amazing Jokers. Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix. Jared Leto is nowhere near that. He's in the negative list.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on Ledger's Joker, dude. Oh my God.
Mark Hamill does a very good job voicing Joker as well.
Oh my God, yeah.
He is the best voice. Like if you got Mark Hamill to do the makeup, he would be like 10 times the better live action Joker than
I don't know if you guys have watched The Flash at all.
I've watched a bit of it.
Yeah, but they have Mark Hamill in in that as the trickster.
No way.
Yeah, they have Mark Hamill in the Flash episodes as the trickster.
Oh,
So it's your little Mark Hamill Joker, little side role.
No, I don't know if this would work, but somebody who looks like they would play the part as Joker is Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin.
Oh yeah,
He looks
yes
like he could
sir.
play the part. Honestly.
I remember I had a William Dafoe meme on my phone where they took pictures of him smiling, and they photoshopped the makeup of Joker on him, and it just looked spot on.
Yeah,
Like he would play the perfect Joker.
I have a photo right here. Let me share my screen. You guys see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That is like the perfect Joker right there.
Yeah. And I think he still does roles. Like he did the Lighthouse.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And he's still pretty good for his age and everything.
Mm-hmm. Great actor.
All right, boys. Where do we go from here?
I don't know.
Horror movies. You want to talk about horror movies?
Okay. I'm not big on any horror movies nowadays. It too was a phenomenal horror movie. I loved that movie.
I'll be honest, I didn't like it too much, but compared to the miniseries, it was a lot better.
Definitely.
I feel like it too was a bit long in the runtime. Like they kind of stretched it out a bit, especially near the end. I was just like,
kill it already.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're screaming slurs at a fucking clown.
But I remember when I was younger, I had seen the trailer for the original It, and I was always just very cautious of walking near rain gutters and stuff like that. I was like,
I remember
my ankles be snatched.
I remember for a school project, some kids in our class did like a game board where they used It as like a Monopoly game board type thing. And it freaked me the fuck out. Like, that and dolls, dude. I hate dolls.
Dolls, like the silicone, like glass dolls are the creepiest.
Yeah, the porcelain dolls.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that look like they have no soul.
Like the Annabelle type ones, yeah.
Yeah, my grandma's house was full of them. My grandma absolutely loved her porcelain dolls. And I remember as a kid...
This is not a good start already.
I remember as a kid, she lived in an old farmhouse. Okay? A 2-story farmhouse. And on the second floor was her doll room. And she had a doll room dedicated for her dolls. And that's where my mom and I would stay. Was in that doll room. And every night I would not go in that room until the dolls were out and like I couldn't see any. And then above the bed was a picture of I think it was my great grandpa and grandma or my great great grandpa and grandma. And I always felt like they were watching me. So we'd have to move the picture as well. Like it was just a bad combo, and that is a staple to Grandma's house. I could never get over the dolls.
I wouldn't be able to sleep in that room.
Dolls, man, the dolls,
dude. Once they start moving, it's over, dude. I'm out that house. I don't understand horror movies and why people just don't leave the house, right away when people tell them that the house is haunted and that the dolls talk. I would be out of there so fast, dude.
Now, like when it's like a psychological film and it's like they're trapped in that specific house or room or whatever, then like I get it. It makes sense. That's supposed to play into the aspect of it. Like especially like found footage films like Paranormal Activity. Why aren't you getting out of the house?
Right.
Like, even if the psychological films where you're trapped in the house, just burn the damn thing down. Problem solved.
There's this one film, Nerdy, you might know what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh. I remember the plot very vaguely in the title, but they go out in the it's supposed to be like a haunted film. Like whoever watches it, there's been like a handful of people who have seen it and then later die from it, which is probably untrue. But so
Have
the
the
plot
creepy girl
is
in it?
what's that?
Does it have the creepy girl in it?
I don't think so. They like
The girl that climbs out of the TV or whatever.
no. It
Yeah.
takes place in the woods, and there's like some sort
Blair
of like,
Witch Project.
No. There's like some sort of like devil worshipping aspect to it that's just very creepy and weird.
I think it might be witches. Is it witches?
Here, I don't know. It's really and there's like a Wendigo skull or something. It's very odd. Here. I'm gonna have to go into incognito tab for this one. I'm not having that on my search history.
Weird, creepy film with girls.
That movie is called God, what we did a review on it. What was that movie called? Oh, that was gonna be a funny joke, and I can't remember the movie. The one with the little girls that are sexualized on Netflix. Cuties. That's it. Little girl, creepy little girl movie. Cuties. Right there. Here you go.
The horror film you never wanted to see.
Cuties coming to you.
I'm not gonna be able to find it. It's
This is gonna
pretty-
bother him now.
It's pretty underground. It's like not too many people know about it. Gosh.
He's not gonna be able to go to bed without thinking of it.
Yeah.
To be like, what in the fuck? What is the name of that movie?
I saw it on TikTok and I looked up the trailer and I was like, I'm not gonna watch that. But it seems kind of interesting. And we're on the topic of horror movies, so might as well just bring that up.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not looking forward to the Conjuring 3 because like every single Conjuring movie, Conjuring 1 and 2, in my opinion, are okay at best. But then you have all the spin-offs, everything else, and
all the Annabelle movies and
The Nun.
Oh, never mind.
You know,
it's not underground. It's pretty.
What is it?
I guess. It's Antrum.
I've never heard of that.
Antrum.
Okay, but like with my like, deep-seated hatred towards dolls, I watched the Annabelle movie, like Annabelle Creation and whatever the new one was. I don't know if that was Creation, but I watched both Annabelle movies, and I can safely say that those were not good at all. Those weren't scary. Those didn't scare me at all.
Right.
Like, it just didn't seem like a horror movie.
I'm gonna sound like a horror movie boomer here, but like the problem with modern like John Woo type horror movies now is it's less about building atmosphere and it's more about just getting a quick scare.
Yeah, the jump scares.
Can I add on to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, with movies, like, to put into this perspective, it's like going to a comedy club and not experiencing the comedy. Instead, the comic is coming down and like forcefully tickling you instead of like actually trying to make you laugh.
That's so accurate.
Same with jump scares and setting an atmosphere. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
okay.
It's like, well, back in the day, like I know now that these movies aren't quite as scary, but like the Friday the 13th movies or the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, the atmosphere in those movies for back in the day was like spot on. They probably would have scared the pants off of everybody in the theater.
Yeah.
Like, those weren't just jump scares. You actually had a villain, like a horrifying villain, and a backstory, and like, the Hellraiser movies were freaky as hell too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One movie I will always be a fan of, will always say it still scares me to this day on some viewings. The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh, yeah.
That whole movie, it's not about jump scaring you. It's about psychologically getting in your head and building the atmosphere of paranoia.
Yeah, absolutely. The Quiet Place was a pretty good horror movie as well.
I haven't seen that movie.
I thought it was pretty good.
It was okay. It's okay.
And then, Get Out was a good one. I liked Get Out.
Oh, I've seen that.
That was a real good one.
Movie.
It's
What
such
else?
good commentary too. Not just like
Yeah.
the atmosphere, but like it actually has a legitimate good message that it's still a main focus of the story, but it doesn't really force down your throat.
Mm.
I think Jordan Peele as a director is that is peak filmmaking. I love Jordan Peele as a director.
I can't wait for his Candyman.
I know. I am so excited.
Although I'm wondering how that's gonna go, because like the main plot point of the original Candyman was the fact that he was dating a white woman. So and I know Peele likes to keep all of his main characters black. So I don't know how he's going to. It will be a small rewrite, but it will be sort of interesting to see what he does with this new rendition.
I think it's going to be a good movie either way. He is just so well versed with script writing and directing, and
I've never seen Candyman.
The original one?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I don't think I have either.
It's good, but it's in that awkward period where you didn't have Scream to reboot the slasher genre, but it was in that kind of like slasher dead zone, like in the middle of the 90s before Scream came out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
By the way, hot take. Well, I don't know if this is not necessarily a hot take, but like slasher movies that came out after Scream sucked hard because they were always focused on like discount CW teen drama. And then that's where it's like the good looks of the actor took priority to the acting, which says a lot compared to like, the 80s films where you could literally show a girl topless, but like still,
You see, where I think they came back and now this is my opinion, where I think they came back and they fixed the slasher genre was the, I think it was 2019 Halloween movie remake.
Oh yeah, the 2018 one?
Yeah, the 2018. That Halloween movie was absolutely phenomenal.
Dude,
and now they're making another one. They're making Halloween 2.
So do you know the plot synopsis of that film?
I don't. I haven't read up on it, no.
All right, so basically, it takes place either the same night or like the following night, and it's basically the town hunting Michael.
Instead of Michael hunting the town?
Yeah, but it's like, I'm still very interested how they're going to portray Michael as a threat still.
Yeah, that's weird. Maybe he's going to pull like a Rambo hide in the trees and then wait for them to like come to him and then just like stab them while they're, spread apart.
Mm-hmm.
That's super interesting.
Yeah.
dude, we need one more film with the original actor for Freddy.
Yeah. I think
Because-
they need to do a Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street reboot.
Well,
I
it's
miss
like
those movies.
the last film, Robert Englund, the guy who played Freddy, the last film he got to play Freddy in was Freddy vs. Jason, and that was in 2003.
I'm gonna be right back. I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
And
I think that film was really good as well. Like,
that was a good popcorn fun.
yeah, it was. I don't see anybody else, playing the role of Freddy as well as he did. Like, you just can't get more Freddy than him, like the original guy.
Right.
And I don't think he's that old either, is he?
He's in the 70s, but he's still active. He actually makes he does cameo appearances as Freddy in some TV shows. Like there was this it's this one show where Patton Oswalt created it, and it's about like his life as an 80s kid. And Robert Englund appears in a dream sequence as Freddy, as a sight gag.
Oh, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know he was still an active actor within the role. Yeah, I just want to see Jason and Freddy back on the silver screen one more time.
Oh yeah, it doesn't even have to necessarily be a reboot. I would just love to see a send off film for
Exactly. For the I guess final film as Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd just be super interesting.
Just around the river bend.
Just around the river bend.
I can't sing.
Meat Canyon.
Meat Canyon, bro.
I love those videos.
Joshua.
All right, boys.
We've been going for an hour and 42 minutes.
Oh,
You
really?
think this,
Wow.
you think this is a good place to send it off?
Oh yeah,
As a
definitely.
first episode, we've covered a lot. This has been pretty good.
Yeah. Very, very productive show, boys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that was fun. Thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we can do it again.
Yeah, no problem, of course.
All right, to the viewers who are watching, if you've made it this far, first and foremost, thank you. If you've watched this whole podcast, shout out to you. Seriously, great supporters. Go check out Nerdy's channel in the description. Please go check out DennisMidwest channel in the description. These two guys are great. I love having them on podcasts, on videos and stuff. So please support everybody here. Subscribe, like, and comment. And do you guys have anything else to add?
We love you. Yeah, hit the like button on the video. Go check out Nerdy's channel, especially Road to 100 for both of us. So hit the subscribe button, bell, ding, 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 hit the bell.
Wing, wing.
I don't hear it ringing. Wing, 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 wing. I don't hear it ringing, so that bell better be on by the time this video. We love you guys. Nerdy, I'm going to have you send it off.
All right, folks. This is Nerdy John signing out. Thank you for checking out this podcast. If you want to see more professional podcasting done, please check out my channel because I love doing podcasting. So, with that, signing off.
We love you guys. See you later.
Bye-bye.